page Nun Zayin. She's going to explain the Maharal, page Nun Zayin, Avasareya, Perik Beis, the whole Machlokes arguing to Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua. Rabbi Lezer and Hurkinus to prove his point. Remember, the carb should uproot itself. The walls, the water should flow the opposite direction. The wall should fall over. And finally, a baskul came out. Right? Yeshua wasn't impressed. Okay? So it says at the end, what did they? They took all the tyrants that were put in the oven of Reb Lezer, and they burnt everything. They burnt everything. So after what happened, it says, Omro Osa Yom, Hivi Kol Tyra Shatir Reb Lezer V'Sorf Beish V'Nimnu Olav. There was consensus, U'Barcho. They put him in Chayrim. V'Omro Miyelech V'Yudienu. They said, who's going to inform Reb Lezer ben Hurkinus that he's a Chayrim? Amalem Reb Kiva Ani Elech. Reb Kiva himself, he offered his services. Ani Elech. Shemi Yelech Odom She'eno Hogun V'Yudienu. Maybe a person who's inappropriate will go and inform him. V'Nibsa Machris Kol Olam Kulo. And that person will cause the world to be destroyed. Because it's a disrespect. Not because necessarily Rebbe Lezer is going to react. Because we'll see even Rabbi Akiva, we'll see there were many, many consequences. Because Ma'aser Rebbe Akiva, Love Shchorim, Nisativ Shchorim, put on black clothing, he wrapped himself in black, Yoshev Pon Brichut Dal Ramos, stood in front of him, a distance of 4 amos. Amalei Rebbe Lezer, Akiva Mayomi. He says, what is this all about? He was dressed differently. He's acting differently. Amalei Rebbe Kimdumali Shechaveroch Chaveroch Recho Bedelim Mimcho. Your colleagues, your peers are separating themselves from you. Af Ukora Begodov, when he heard it, he tore his clothing. Chotz Benolov Dishmat V'Yoshev Agabi Karka. And he took his shoes off like an ovel. Person Chayrim has to behave like an ovel. Zolgo Einov Demos. Loko Olam Shlish, at that moment when his eyes started to tear. Tears, Loko Olam Shlish Bezesim, a third of the olive crop was smitten. Shlish Bechitim, a third of the grain crop. Shlish Besorim, a third of the barley crop. Abotzik Shli Ishatofach, even the dough that the woman was kneading actually didn't rise properly, swelled. Tona Afgodl Hoyo, Bos Hayom Shemchomok Shenosa Reb Lezer Ein of Nisraf. That whatever Rebbe Lezer would look at, we totally consume it. There was a swell that was going to cause the ship to sink in the ocean. Because ultimately, who was the final decision to put him in Chayrim? It was Shem Gamliel. He was the Nasi. So what happened? So Omar al-Raglov, he stood up. Omar, you see, the expression Omar al-Raglov is a declaration because it's very sure. It says it said also Omar al-Raglov. He stood on his feet. When he stood on his feet, it's making a declaration. So from Gamliel on the boat, when the boat was about to be destroyed by the swell, he's Omar al-Raglov, Omar Gon Shalom Golav Yidul for Nechshul L'Chvodio CC. It's revealed and known to you. I did not do it for my own honor. Lo Chvo Beis Abba CC. I didn't do it for the honor of the household of my father. L'Chvodcho Shel Yibru Machlokas B'Yisrael. I did it for your kavod, that there shouldn't be machlokas, because you can establish like two religions. Noch hayom izaf. Immediately the ocean calmed from its zaf, from its turbulence. Emer Shalom Devisu de Reb Lezer Achted Reb Gamliel Hoyo Havyo. Emer Shalom, the wife of Reb Lezer, was the sister of Reb Gamliel. She was Malchus, right? She was royalty. She was Reb Gamliel's sister. Reb Lezer ben Hurkinus is his wife. From that day onward, she would not let her husband, say Tachnun. Because she felt if he says Tachnun and he's expressed the pain that he's going through, Reb Gamliel is going to die. If he says Tachnun. So she never allowed her husband to say Tachnun. That day was Rosh Chodesh. She confused it was Moli. She thought it wasn't Rosh Chodesh. She thought it was Rosh Chodesh. Osa Anya v'koy abovo, poor man was at the door. Afiko le'rifto, and she went and she gave him bread. Ashkachte dunofel al apek, and all of a sudden she comes back. She sees her husband saying Tachton, Reb Lezer ben Hurkinus. Amar kum, she says immediately, rise. She says to her husband, Kutlis lochi, you just killed my brother. You're killing my brother. This is what his wife said to him because he's saying Tachton. Adochi nofik shipura b'veis Gamliel. Immediately they blew the shofar. in the home of Rabbi Leal to announce public, to make it public knowledge, Vishochi, that he passed away. The moment he said Tachnun, Rabbi Leal passed away. Omar lo b'no yadat. So he said, how do you know? Rabbi Lezer asked his wife, how do you know? Omar leikach uklam beisabi kol asher nina minolim. All the gates are closed. Chutz misharei ano. If you cause somebody pain, and because you caused my brother caused you pain, therefore it came to. Never said Tachnun. No, she didn't stop him. She'd always stop him saying Tachnun. She thought it was Rosh Chodesh. She didn't have to be there to stop her. Wait a second. Firstly, it's clear he didn't know why she didn't want it. He shouldn't say that. How do you know that he died? Okay? So why? Evidently, maybe he attributed some other reason. Okay? Not Kiddush HaChodesh. No. Well, Rebbe Leal, there was Kiddush Levana. Of course there was Kiddush Levana. There's Kiddush Levana in time of Rebbe Leal. This Kiddush Mekabel to decide, the Sanhedrin, there was a Sanhedrin to decide when is it a Molei Rechos and when is Rosh you receive witnesses. It says she confused it. Right. Not at this time. Rabbi Leal passed away. Different things. The story, the many stories. Not the peacemaker. But Kiva was the most qualified. Anybody less than Kiva would have been a disrespect. He was known as the greatest of all of them. So okay, so that's the answer. I just wanted to go just a little bit. He says the statement is very difficult to understand. There are many aspects of it. He says he doesn't want to speak lengthily. He brought proofs that he's right. Right? As we spoke about. The carib uprooting, the walls cave, the water running backwards in the opposite direction, so on and so forth. Meaning, is it we figured it out that the proofs that he brought, because that's the way you would prove that you're right, or no, there's a Kabbalah. We don't know exactly how to associate why did he bring these. It's a Kabbalah, that's what happened. It's He says each one of these approaches is either connected chachomim, ucheneged nevonim, connected zakenim. Zakenim represent Masorah. That's the Kabbalah. Yeah. Kuloru chachomim. That's who bring proof. Your chachomim bring the proof. Kunon nevonim. That's maven dover. There's certain things which were in place, and from that we understood something else. And zakenim is Masorah. That's the Kabbalah. Shloshel niknas ha'idio kamo sheyadua. This we saw in the Chovos HaLevavos. Hear what he says? He says, if you have all three, you have Yediyah. Then you get it. You know, you come up, you have a hypothesis, you have a theory. How do you know you're right? Right? But if there's certain principles which are uncontestable principles, and how do you know it's uncontestable? Because it's a Masorah. Right? Like I always say, years ago, Michael Steiner once said to me, he says, if I ask you a question, and I would prove to you that there's no God, will you accept it? Would you accept my position? I said, no. This is why. So I said, I'll tell you the difference between me and you. I said, everything is dependent on what you understand. If you understand it is, if you don't understand it, it's not. I said, the basis of my belief is based on my Masorah. It's on my tradition. what I understand only reinforces my tradition. Reinforces it. But it's the bedrock, the foundation is my tradition. What I understand from for whatever else, that only secures that. So the question you're asking me is a question on my proof. Yeah, but I can't prove it as well as before. But why do I believe it? I believe it because that's my Masorah. So I'm saying all three interplay to establish the reality of what you know. Chokhmah, that's to bring the proof. I will bring the proof. The others, will you bring, it's not a proof, will you understand one thing from another. If that is, therefore something else may be. Right? That's to extrapolate. And the third is Masorah. That's the Canaan. Right? Shal Zakena Chor V'Yomru. Ask the elders and they'll tell you. Nesivos Olam, right? Shnos Binu Shnos Dor V'Dor. Right? Also. Schor Binu Shnos Dor V'Dor. Shal Zakena Chor V'Yomru. Ask the Canaan. So again, you see the three over there. Yeah.
They don't. If the person doesn't believe in any Masorah, they don't really care.
You never know if you're right because you could always be refuted. Right. Maybe you missed the point. How do you know your position?
From them.
No, because again, a person is not infallible. The Masorah has nothing to be infallible. It's fact. Right? The sun is shining. The sun is shining. But
that's not Masorah.
No, I understand that, but that's fact. And even that's not so simple. It's fact. But Masorah is beyond. It's irrefutable fact. That's Masorah. Or with Sinai, Kodesh Baruch Hu revealed himself to every Jew, and it was a communication of face-to-face, panim el panim. That's where it all began. And everything goes forward from there. And life is continuously interplaying with that Masorah at many levels. Right? Well, he could learn from others what our Masorah is. He never had a father to tell him, right? But good. So we, the Chachomim, Rashi brings at the end of Joseph Roch, Ovi. Avicha. What's Avicha? Shal Avicha v'yom malach. A Rebbe is called Avicha, as it says when Eliyahu was swept up. Elisha said, Ovi, Rechav Yisrael. Rashi over there cites it. So you see, even the Rebbe is called Ovi. It's called the father. Shinatnu levonecho, right? Vonecha el tamidecho. So the relationship between a Rebbe and a Talmud is Av and Ben also. That's Avicha. So a Ger could have that.
So Abraham didn't have a Masorah.
He had better than the Masorah. Hashem revealed himself to him.
I'd say that.
But he didn't start with himself. Of course he didn't start with himself. Right, exactly. I mean, there was a Masorah out there. There was Shem Ve'ever. Shem Ve'ever had the Masorah from Noach. Or they were there at the time. Shem was there at the time of the Mabul. Right. And Shem was a prophet, so Hashem communicated with him.
Did Abraham have any connection with Shem Ve'ever?
He probably knew he existed. He was related. He was a grandfather of Abraham. Yeah. Abraham came from Shem. Terach also came from Shem. But it was irrelevant.
And Noach was alive for part of Abraham's life.
Correct. To be continued. Let's see the Mishnah Berurah. That's the problem today. If you don't learn, forget about even Hashkab. Who has Masorah? Who has Masorah today? Who has Masorah? I mean, unless you're a real Talmud Chacham and you're steeped in knowing what it is, where's Masorah? Right? What is the basis for tradition? Who teaches anybody anything? Person goes to day school, go learn. Say, well, what's Masorah? If you ask Alan, what about this procedure? Well, he's the father of this particular procedure, right? He innovated it. Yeah, okay, so he has Masorah in medicine. That's where it began. It proved itself. It was on the trial test, and then, okay, that's it. In Yiddishkeit, well, who has Masorah? Other than there was a Sinai, Go speak to the man north. What's his Masorah? We have a Shulchan Aruch. They don't accept it because that's being too extreme, right? You're being a fanatic. I'm not a Haredi, but it's a Shulchan Aruch. Whatever it is. If it's a Masorah, what's the question? The Shulchan Aruch is the Masorah. That's the Gemara. Every halach in Shulchan Aruch is based on the Gemara, based on the Rambam, based on the Rif, right? So what's going on? The answer: they're not aware of this. And if they're aware, that's what they say. But do they really grasp and understand what it is? Of course they don't. It's like the guy who smokes and says on the side of the package, definitely causes cancer. So what are you smoking? The person wants to have cancer. There's no relevance to it, right? Otherwise, how could you smoke? The what? Yeah, because there's a
In that story, you see that aspect that
you see much.
really have the ability.
You see much more than that. Until he said Tachnun, Rav Hillel didn't die.
Right.
But when he said people are painting me, then it came. Then that was the collection of the debt. But he had the same pain. He had the same. Nothing changed. But when he said Tachnun, Rav Hillel died immediately. So what did the Tachnun cause? It activated the Midas Hadin. That he made a claim in court. Till you make the claim in court, that's what it is. So you see more than that. Okay.